Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, I have a very, very insane story time for you guys today. One that is, just all around ridiculous and crazy, and I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into this. So, today's story time all takes place when I was 18 years old. Specifically, the day after my 18th birthday. Okay, so I literally just turned 18. I was in my room at my house, just doing what I normally would, like any other day, working on YouTube vids, playing video games. I had plans to go hang out with a couple friends later that night. Really nothing out of the ordinary, right? So fast forward to about, I don't know, an hour before my friends picked me up. I get a text message in a group chat, like an iMessage group chat, with both of my friends that I was supposed to be hanging out with that night. And they're like, yo, what's the move tonight? What are we doing? And I reply, and I was like, I don't know, what do you guys want to do? And both of my friends were a year older than me. So I'll just give them a name. Let's just say Max and Justin, okay? Max and Justin are their names. They were both 19. I had just turned 18. And they knew that. So they immediately responded and they were like, yo, why don't we go to a strip club? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I've never really been to one before. I feel like I'd be like mad awkward in there. And plus, like, how much does it cost? Isn't it like super expensive? And my friends both were like, bro, Austin, don't be such a pussy, dude. Like, come on. It'll be your first time. You'll be with two of your best friends. Like, trust me, it won't be awkward. It'll be crazy. It'll be fun. Come on, bro. And I was like, all right, fine. I'll go. But if it's weird and it's, like, not fun, I'm leaving right away. And they're like, don't worry, dude. It's going to be great. So, yeah, they picked me up, like, an hour later. And me and my two friends go to a strip club together. And we got this, like, booth when we were there. And we start watching the dancers and we're tipping them as they come over to our table. And I don't know, like things are just going pretty normal. I can't lie, it's a little bit awkward. Like they start asking me like, oh, where are you from? You from around here? Like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, I do YouTube. And they're like, that's really cool. Like, do you make vlogs? I'm like, no, I'm a fucking nerd. I play like Counter-Strike and talk about story times. And they're like, oh, that's cool. What's your channel? And like, I just was so embarrassed to give it to them for some reason. Like the thought of a bunch of strippers watching COD commentaries and CSGO commentaries doesn't really like feel not awkward to me. So I feel like it would have been kind of weird. But I gave it to them. And for all I know, they could be loyal subs to this day. Who knows? If you're watching this, it was nice meeting you girls. Anyway, yeah, so I'm talking to them and we couldn't like drink or anything because we were not 21 yet. So we had to like just kind of sit there in our booth and like hang out and talk, and anyone that would come over to the table we would talk to. But yeah, overall it was kind of like not that fun, right? Nothing really too crazy was going on. It was almost just more awkward than it was fun, kind of like I thought it would be, right? Well then, about 45 minutes after getting to the strip club and we're just kind of sitting in our booth chilling, talking to each other, this one girl comes over to our table. And she went by the stage name Misty, okay? She comes over to our table, she sits down at our booth, and she's like, hey guys, like, how you guys doing? What brings you in tonight? And we're just like, oh, we're just hanging out, you know? Want something to do? We're pretty bored. She's like, yeah, me too. It's pretty slow here tonight. She's like, you mind if I sit with y'all? And we're like, sure. She sits down, and we start talking to this girl. And there's this girl on the stage in front of our booth who's on the pole doing her thing. And I don't remember her name, but all I know is that Misty was friends with her because they worked together. And she was like, oh yeah, that's like one of my homegirls up there. Like, she's the best dancer there is here. She kills it on the pole. I was like, nice, nice. And all of a sudden, right after she says that, a very large man, probably like, I don't know, 350 pounds, walks up to the stage and starts climbing onto it where this girl is pole dancing. And you're not supposed to be on the stage. It's meant for the dancers. And this guy like rolls onto the stage, stands up, and starts like grabbing on the girl, like, you know, grabbing on her arm and like trying to hug her. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And out of nowhere, Misty runs from our booth to the stage, climbs up, and this girl and Misty, both strippers, start beating the absolute shit out of this drunken man on the stage, just like kicking this dude's ass. And he tries to fight back, but they're too strong. Like, they're just kicking his ass. And after a good 5 or 6 hits, this man goes down. He goes off the stage onto a table, falls on it, and breaks the fucking table. It was like some shit out of an action movie, dude. But it didn't stop there. after he went down on the table and snapped it in half, the two girls jumped onto the table, WWE style, and started wailing on him even harder. And I was like, yo, this is insane. And then two bouncers came over and tried to break it up, and then they got hit by the guy, and then they started fighting the guy, and it was just one big clusterfuck of people at a strip club beating the hell out of each other. So eventually, after like, I don't know, another minute of this shit, they finally split up, and the bouncers get the guy, and they escort him out of the building, and the girls are okay. They're just really, really like, I don't know, angry looking because they just were fighting that guy. And right after they got done fighting this dude, Misty comes back to our table and sits down. And she goes, sorry about that, sweethearts. And I was like, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, is that like a regular thing that happens here? And she's like, not usually that bad. But yeah, we deal with a lot of weirdos on a weekly basis here. But that guy was definitely one of the weirdest ones. And I was like, yeah, well, it looks like you guys definitely kicked his ass. So I don't know. Glad you guys are all good, I guess. I don't really know what to say. And she was like, oh, thank you. Yeah, no, we'd be fine. Like, we both take boxing together, me and her. Like, we're good to hold our own. Which honestly made a lot of sense because the way they were fucking landing punches and the way they were, like, stanced up and just everything about how they were kicking that dude's ass, it made a lot of sense that they took boxing. And yeah, we talked to Misty for like another 20 minutes, and then she walked away from the table to go and talk to some of the bouncers and security or whatever. And my friends all look at me and they're like, yo, are you regretting coming here now? Is it awkward now? And I was like, yo, I thought we were going to a strip club, and we ended up getting like a full-blown boxing match / WWE match / like UFC event, dude. Like, it was insane. And my one friend's like, yo, I'm coming here every night. Like, from now on, this is where I'm gonna be. And I was like, dude, I don't think it's gonna be like that every night, but yeah, you do that. And he's like, nah, man, this shit's crazy. Like, this is the place to be. And he was all amped up. And yeah, we ended up hanging out there for like another, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And then we left. And on the way out, I actually saw the girl on the stage that was beating up the dude with Misty. And I was like, hey, good show tonight. And she was like, hey, thanks, guys. Have a good night. And I was like, you too. And then Misty waved goodbye as well. So we left after that and just got in the car and drove home. And after this, we went back to my buddy's house. And for some reason, his dad was still awake. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning. And his dad was awake making a sandwich. And he's like, hey, where'd you guys go tonight? And we all kind of paused for a second. And then my friend's like, strip club. And his dad's like, you guys went to a strip club? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, I got stories about those. You want to hear one? And I was like, fuck yeah, I do. And his dad sat us down, we ate his sandwich, and just told us about like the first time he ever went to one and how he also saw a fight, but it was with 2 guys like at the bar. So that was crazy. It was like kind of a crazy coincidence because that was my first experience in a way, but just a little bit different. But yeah, overall, it was a very interesting night. And it was a very interesting first time going to a strip club, so thought I would tell you guys about it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.